All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is October 30th. We got ourselves a Sunday with 6 NBA games on today's slate. We're going to jump into each and every one of these games. I'm going to break it down, give you my lean or leans on the games, but all of my final plays, so I'm actually rolling with myself. Those plays will be in the pinned comment. So as always, make sure to keep an eye on that pinned comment. Last night we go 1 and 2. Joel Embiid over 4.5 assists. That cashes easily. But the Grizzlies and Brandon Ingram do not come through for us. We don't have the recap image. We were away, we traveled. This video is a little delayed getting out, probably an hour or two later than I wanted to, but we are back home, back in the lab here for a regular video. But a 1 and 2 night yesterday, not all the best, guys. Before we jump into it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. If you want to be featured in tomorrow's video, all you gotta use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments, and I'm picking one person to jump on board with one of the plays that you guys give me using that hashtag ride of the day, and I'll jump on board, and you guys get a shout out in the next video, win or loss. If you win, we celebrate it. If you lose, we talk about it and you get put on blast. So guys, enter at your own risk. But let's go ahead and jump into game number 1 here. We got OKC hosting Denver. The Thunder 2-0 against the spread, 2-0 straight up as well, as they crushed Chicago in opening night, and then Cleveland, they beat 108-105. Denver also 2-0, but did not cover against Memphis just a few nights back here. Right now, OKC getting 3 points at home, total sitting at 229.5. I don't mind the under in this spot. Again, this OKC team I do think is going to kind of fly and run and score a lot of points, but we saw a team, the Cavs, and they were missing a decent amount of guys, still slow down that OKC team. There's no reason for me to think that Denver won't also be able to slow them down slightly. So I like the under right off the rip, right? Under 229.5. Because we know even if Denver's playing good basketball, there's a good chance that they start to play fairly slow. So give me Denver, give me the under as my main lean in this spot. In terms of a side pick, this is really tough. I'm going to lean Denver minus 3 points, but I'll show you sort of the lack thereof of confidence, because if this was 4.5, OKC plus 4.5, I'd probably be on the Thunder side of things. So it shows you that I'm not like 110% in on Denver, right? 1.5 would have swayed my lean in this game. So main lean under, and then just because it's at 3 points, I do like Denver minus the 3 points. All right, next up, we're looking at Atlanta traveling to Milwaukee in a matchup here. Milwaukee right now 7-point favorites, total sitting at 238.5. You guys know it's a little bit too high for that type of number for me, so I'm going to immediately lean towards the under, but it is sort of just a process that we've had over the last 3 years in the first month or so of the NBA season, looking at unders when they are super high like that. I get why it would be. Even Atlanta scored, what was it, 245 or so with the Knicks, so I understand that, there might be some hesitancy to pulling the trigger on the under here, but we did see Milwaukee and Philly also get close to this line. Like, I understand if someone wants to pull the trigger on the over, but to me, it's like I'm not considering anything higher than that to start the year, so I might as well lean towards the under. But an actual spread play here, I don't mind the Bucks. I think they are a far better team than Atlanta. Damian Lillard looked good as well in that opening night against Philly. Atlanta, 2 straight losses here. They are pining for that win, so that could be sort of a deciding factor for them to keep this game close. I will say I think Milwaukee wins this one. No Chris Middleton, though. I think that's worth noting. That being said, and this is not to knock him, because I do think I like him a lot. I think he's a good player. Chris Middleton being out is going to mean a hell of a lot less than it ever did in the past, right? Now it's Giannis and Damian Lillard. Before, Chris Middleton was kind of that second scorer. We saw him not have the best of, offensive games against the Sixers, and it didn't matter all that much. It's going to be great for the Bucks when he does contribute and he does step up, but him being out, I don't think it's going to be this like swaying of events for the Bucks, because they have 2 of the best players in the league. So yes, it'll matter. I just don't think it matters as much as it has in the past. I think that's a fair take. But give me the Bucks here, minus the 7 points. I also like the under as well. Keep an eye on the pinned comment to see if we roll with anything in this game, though, because, like I said, Atlanta's looking for that first win. I could see them, keeping this game close to some degree. All right, guys, this is a basketball video, but I want to talk to you about a promo going on over on Sleeper for tonight's Sunday Night Football. Austin Eckler here. They've knocked his rushing yards line down to 0.5. If you're not on Sleeper, you need to get on there. If it's legal in your state, you're not playing on Sleeper, you are missing out on literally a boatload of fun. You guys know that I mean that. I'm posting Sleeper picks damn near every day over on TikTok at EvPicks 2.0, picks with a Z. If you do want to check this out, guys, I have a link in the pinned comment. You're going to get 100% of your first deposit matched. It's a no-brainer. You can throw in $50. Sleeper's going to go, all right, here's 50 more. New account balance of $100. You can go up to $100. If you throw in $100, Sleeper's going to reluctantly be like, all right, here's 100 more. You'll have a new account balance of 200 and you get this free square, guys. Go check out Sleeper. If it's legal in your state and you're not on it, you are missing out. Use the link in the pinned comment. You get 100% of your first deposit match. Now, next game on the slate here, we have Houston taking on Golden State. And you're probably looking at the spread being like, what the heck? Like, why is Houston only 4.5 point dogs? Well, Draymond Green should be playing, but Stephen Curry is questionable here. And the fact that it's only plus 4.5, I have to think Steph Curry's not playing, right? Like, that would just make total sense. And I think that Steph Curry being out, we talked about Middleton, being out, not mattering as much. Steph Curry now being out, I think he's going to matter a hell of a lot because not that I love Jordan Poole, but that was a pretty good little replacement here. Chris Paul being the guy that's going to handle the ball a lot too, isn't the scorer that Poole is or was for the Warriors. Definitely not what Curry is. So when he's out, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a hit to this team, which the spread would indicate that. Now, if Steph is going to get the play, I'm going to lean towards the Warriors in this spot. But again, there's no determining if he's going to play. Right now, I think he's a game time decision, and it's a toss-up, like a 50-50 to play here. And Draymond Green likely to play. That should be a nice added bonus to them. But maybe this is a game in which Klay Thompson and Wiggins can kind of step up even if Steph is out. So I'm still going to lean Warriors, but we got to understand this year and keep an eye on it that when Steph is out, this Warriors team could be completely different. They don't have a Jordan Poole, whatever your thoughts on, pretty dynamic scoring guard to fill in his spot. In terms of the total, 227.5. I think I've seen this down at 225.5 on some sportsbooks. So keep an eye out for the best line there. But my take on this one would probably be right around 230-ish is the final score. Houston doesn't play all that great a defense. In terms of what we've seen from the Warriors here, Sacramento puts up 114, Phoenix puts up 108. I think that, if Houston can get to the 100-point mark, I think a few more buckets come in and we see like a I don't know, 120 to 120 to 110 type of a ball game at minimum. So give me the over in this one. Yes, I don't like taking overs early in the year. I keep preaching that, but this is a spot where I don't see all that much defense being played. The caveat is Draymond Green's coming back. Obviously, he's going to bring a little defensive presence to that Warriors team. So take that what you will. All right, Sixers taking on the Trailblazers here. They are a big-time favorite, sitting at minus 9.5 right now. Total's down there at 218, which that tells you Vegas thinks, the Sixers are going to get this thing done both offensively and defensively because that is a small total, relatively speaking, and we're looking at a game in which Vegas believes it could be decided by double digits. So a little bit of line reading going on here that it kind of tells me they don't think Portland's going to show up, which could make sense. Like, this Portland team doesn't look very good. 123 to 111 opening night against the Clippers. And then Orlando, which, that was a team in which we don't really know what we have yet, right? They still beat them by, 5 or 6 points. So this Portland team not looking all that great. Anthony Simon's still out too, which is obviously a big blow to them. Philly's coming off of a win against Toronto. They won by 7 points. Losing to Milwaukee opening night was tough. And James Harden's actually listed as questionable in this one, which I feel like he's unlikely to play, but they are back home. I guess I could see him making his debut, which I don't necessarily know if I were to be the Sixers right now. I don't know if you want that sort of weird headache or anything like that. So to each their own. Maybe you like James Harden. Maybe you're like there's one in every crowd, right? But if he comes back, I do think that it could kind of mess with the flow. So I'm almost leaning towards Philly minus 9.5. But hoping Harden doesn't play, continue to let Maxey do his thing and Embiid do his thing. Don't throw a headache of a wrench into things right now. But that's just my opinion on it. Again, total 218.5. I see this one landing right around, that I would say 216 to 217 range. So I do lean towards the under, but it is ever so slightly of a lean there. But yeah, I think that spread and that total indicate that Vegas believes Portland's not even going to show up. So give me Sixers here minus the 9.5 points. It's a lot, but trying to line read. Kings taking on the Lakers. I'll jump right out and say it. I like the Kings, excuse me, in this spot. We do have some injury updates here. Cam Reddish is probable to go for the Lakers in this one. Does that matter all that much? No, but it is worth noting because he was questionable. Trey Lyles out for the Kings here, but I think this Kings team looks good. Like, even in the game that they lose against the Warriors, at times they look like they were competing there, and that was a pretty good game for the Warriors. De'Aaron Fox went off too. So give me Sacramento in this spot. I think they're a better team. I do think it's going to take the NBA world like maybe a quarter or half of this season to realize that this team had a good year last year. They're good now. They're young. They have, vets where they need to. Like, this is a good team. Just because the Sacramento organization for the longest time wasn't anything to brag about or write home about doesn't mean that they're not pretty decent right now. So I think they're in a better spot than this Lakers team. The only risk you ever run with the Lakers is that, like, if LeBron, Anthony Davis, and D'Angelo Russell decide to go prime mode. Like they all kind of click into what they're good at, and it's like, okay, well, now, no kidding, they're gonna win this game because you have two of the maybe top 5, top 10 players in the entire league on your team in the front court, right? But that doesn't happen very often, as weird as it is. So give me the Kings here, minus the 3 points. In terms of the total, 234, I would say it seems a little bit too high, but we've seen the Kings now, put up points and be in two, I guess you could say, high scoring-esque games. Utah, they have a 244 total finishing there, and then against the Warriors, they finish at 236. So I think it may be silly to look at the under here, but I don't really like the over, so it's kind of a stay away spot for me. I guess if I truly had a gun to my head, I would say maybe the Lakers keep this one somewhat close, and the Lakers play a hell of a lot slower than the Kings. So give me the under, but I doubt that becomes a final play. And again, I'm just transparent with you guys. Like I said, I don't want to pull the trigger on the under because Sacramento has been pushing the pace, and I do think that they could control the pace of play here, right? But I don't necessarily want to take the over because that is a high number. So sometimes in sports betting, you got to just say, all right, I'll step back. We don't need to force this one, right? I like the Kings minus 3. Why the hell are we going to get, all bogged down in making 2 hardcore leans in this game? I'm not going to fake confidence for content. I tell you guys that all the time. So I like the Kings minus 3 here. Don't really love much on the over. All right, Clippers, Spurs. I have a couple things I really do like in this game right here. So no major injuries to note for either side, but I love the Spurs in a +9 spot. Do they look great to start the season? No. Has Wemby really blown, everyone's hogs off? No. Oh boy, blowing everyone's hogs off. You got to pause on that one. Yikes. Diarrhea mouth. But has he really exceeded people's expectations? No. Do I think he's going to do it here tonight? Maybe not. Like, this is a fairly good, I guess, personnel-wise comprised Clippers defensive team, but 9 points is way too much to be giving this San Antonio team if you are the Clippers. They just lost to Utah. They only beat the Portland Trailblazers by, 11 or 12, right? Like, 9 points is a hell of a lot, and 228 seems kind of high for me as well. So I like the under, and I like the Spurs in this spot. What I really like is the potential of a same-game parlay here, bumping up the Spurs to +14, and then looking at the total of under 235 or something like that. I really do like that. So there could be a same-game parlay in the pinned comments if you guys keep an eye on that. We did it with the who did the Bulls play? It was the Bulls and the Raptors. We hit a +135 same game parlay here. I think we might do something similar here. So I'll take the Spurs plus the points as a straight up lean. But if I can get them to, keep it to 15 or so, yeah, sign me up. I don't think this Clippers team is a I'll blow you out type of a team. I do think they're a good team. They could easily win the game. I get that. But we really haven't seen the Spurs fire on all cylinders yet. They looked okay against Dallas. They kept that to, what was it? They kept it to 6 points, 7 points. They won the game against Houston. I do think that this is a spot in which they can at least keep this game close. I don't see the Clippers necessarily running away with it, but I also like the under. And yeah, guys, it's going to wrap it up for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. Comment 14 if you are still watching. We've been doing that at the end of every video, but it makes my day to see how many people watch the entire video. And it's great. I mean, I think I'm annoying, right? But some of you guys can put up with it. But I got a great comment in 2 videos ago. Someone was like, I love your videos, I appreciate the content. I'm like, oh, cool. And he goes, but I hate that you use auto-tune. I'm not using auto-tune. Is it just my voice? Is that a good thing, a bad thing? Is it a compliment? Are you shitting on me? I don't have auto-tune on. I'm at the bar with her. It may not mean nothing to y'all. Maybe I do. I don't have auto tune on, but I didn't know if that was a compliment or a slight. But nonetheless, guys, thanks for tuning in. Before I go on a crazy rant here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.